Hey everybody, today I've got another coding project to show you. So basically, this is one of the first coding projects I started, but actually one of the last ones I finished. And that's because I did not know how to use arrays. And I will get into that when we get into the coding. For now, let me just show you what it does. So it's basically, as it says, it's a randomizer. So you can use it for like D&D or any time you need to randomly generate numbers. So you can put in any sort of minimum. So let's say the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 100. And then with replacement, this was the thing that was making everything difficult. Because if you say with replacement, it makes it really easy. We can just randomly generate how many numbers we want. But if you say without replacement, that means we can't use the same number twice. So I'm going to tick that off, just because, to show you how it works. And let's say we want only 50 numbers out of those 100. So there will be no duplicates in this entire thing because we ticked replacement off. But if we tick it back on, then there can be replacements. Let's see if we can find any. Oh, right here. There's an 8 right here and an 8 over here. So that shows us that replacement's on. And if we say, oh, well, we actually want all 100 numbers, but we want them all to be unique. So that gives us all numbers from 0 to 100. Or actually, I think there'd be 101 in that case. Yep. So it'll give us all numbers 0 to 100, which actually ended up being right next to each other. How cool. But there's no duplicates in here, so you would be able to find every single number. So let's go over into the code and I'll show you how this works. Alrighty, so here we are in the code, and this one's fairly short, but it's a little complicated if you don't know what's happening. So let me try and explain it. We've got just here, we're gathering what the inputs are, and we have this function here. And we have this array, which is the first time I'd ever used arrays in my life. And so it was very, very confusing to me at the time, but it was kind of eye-opening as to how I could do this project. So, we get our minimum, maximum, how many they're choosing, whether replacement's on or off, the counter, everything like that. And so then the first thing we got to do is make sure the maximum is greater than the minimum, because if it's not, that's kind of impossible. Otherwise, it generates this error. And then we have to make sure there's enough answers if replacement's off. So if replacement's off and the number you're choosing is greater than the number possible, which is counted up here, then we generate this error. Finally, we can actually randomize it. So we're saying if replacement's off, it's actually pretty easy. We just say, okay, let's generate a number and do that as many times as they asked us to. And sorry, no, this one is opposite. This is if a replacement is off or if replacement's on. So that's saying if we are replacing numbers. So what that means, if we're checking is the number that we're creating inside of the array here, and if it is in it, we can't do that. So if we were to actually do a large amount of numbers, it would actually have to run this loop many times until it randomly generates the correct number that we haven't done. So that is how this one works. And I called this the easy version because this is what I did know how to do. So as you can see, it's just, okay, generate a number until we're done with that. And then finally, we just print out the response and we are good to go. But yeah, figuring out this whole array thing, it was before I'd ever worked with arrays. I didn't even know what they were called. And I was kind of self-teaching myself how to code back then. So it was kind of a headache just trying to figure it all out. Looking back, it seems really easy, but at the time, it was like the biggest challenge for me. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoy coding projects like this, be sure to check out the rest of things on my channel.